Hello and welcome back to our podcast. Today we are going to talk about something unusual but very human, the pigeon ladies and pigeon men of our cities. You may have seen them. They are often older people, sitting on a bench or standing in a park, surrounded by pigeons. They open a bag of bread or seeds and the birds fly around them happily. To most of us, this looks like just a small moment. But for these people, it is often the center of their daily life. So, how does someone become a pigeon lady or a pigeon man? To answer this, let's think like a psychologist and also like a sociologist. From psychology, we know that human beings need connection. We want to feel seen, remembered, and important. But sometimes, people lose their usual connections. Maybe their children grow up and move away. Maybe their partner passes away. Or maybe they retire from work and suddenly their days are empty. In these situations, pigeons become more than just birds. They become an audience and companions. The pigeons recognize the person's face, their smell, their voice. Every time the person arrives, the pigeons fly to them. This gives a strong feeling of being needed. The birds depend on them for food, and in return, the person feels a little less invisible in the world. There is also the question of routine. Psychologists say routines give stability and reduce stress. For a pigeon lady, walking to the park with her bag of bread is a ritual. It is something she can count on every day. Without it, the day feels empty. With it, the day feels meaningful. And finally, there is the idea of nurturing. Many pigeon people are natural caretakers. Maybe they once cared for children or parents. Later, when that role disappears, they look for another way to give care. Feeding pigeons is simple, but it satisfies this deep psychological need. Now, let's look with the eyes of a sociologist. Society often judges pigeon people. Some call them eccentric, strange, or even a problem. Cities sometimes put up signs saying, "Do not feed the pigeons." Why? Because too many pigeons can make squares dirty, and their droppings can damage buildings. So here we see a conflict. The individual finds meaning in feeding pigeons, but society looks for cleanliness and order. A sociologist would also say that pigeon ladies and men often belong to marginal groups. They are usually older, sometimes poor, sometimes socially isolated. Feeding pigeons becomes their way of building a small community. Their community is not made of humans, but of birds. Still, it functions like a community. There is trust, recognition, and even loyalty. Interestingly, in some cultures, pigeon people are respected. In Istanbul, for example, some mosques have special areas where people feed pigeons as an act of charity. In India, feeding pigeons is linked to religion and good karma. So the meaning of pigeon people is different depending on culture. What looks strange in London might look holy in Delhi. Let's go deeper and imagine the full day of a pigeon man. His name is Ahmed. He is 70 years old, living alone in a small apartment. He wakes up early, makes a simple breakfast, and then carefully fills a plastic bag with dry bread. He puts on his old jacket, the one with seeds always stuck in the pockets, and walks slowly to the main square. The moment he arrives, something magical happens. The pigeons see him. They fly down from the rooftops, land near his feet, and wait. Ahmed smiles. He talks softly to them, almost as if they were people. "Good morning, my friends." He spreads the food and the pigeons rush to eat. For 20 minutes, maybe 30, he's not just an old man. He is the center of attention, a kind of leader, almost a father figure. After the feeding, he feels calmer, more alive. He goes home, maybe takes a nap, maybe watches some television. But in the evening, he is already thinking about tomorrow's feeding. His life has a rhythm, and the pigeons are the heart of that rhythm. So, what can we learn from pigeon ladies and men? First, that humans always search for meaning. It doesn't matter if it's a job, a hobby, or feeding birds. Meaning is what keeps us moving forward. Second, that kindness doesn't always look modern or clean. Sometimes kindness is messy. like throwing bread to pigeons and making the street dirty. But behind the mess is love. Third, that we should be careful not to judge too quickly. It's easy to laugh at a woman covered in pigeons, but if we knew her story, we might see her as strong, not strange. In psychology, there's a concept called symbolic interaction. It means that small actions like feeding pigeons carry big emotional meaning. For the outside world, it is just food on the ground. For the pigeon lady, it is her way of saying, I am here, I matter, I give something to the world. In sociology, there's the idea of the outsider. Pigeon people are outsiders in the modern city. They don't follow the usual rules. But sometimes outsiders remind us of the values we forget: patience, gentleness, and care for the weakest creatures. So maybe the next time you see a pigeon man or woman, don't only think about the noise or the dirt. Instead, think, this person has created a unique bond with nature. And maybe, in their own way, they are showing us something important about being human. Thank you for listening.